everyone. I'm Grace. I am the Director of Virtual Reality at an organization called Global Nomads Group, and we are an education organization that fosters dialogue and understanding among the world's youth.
Hi, and I'm Dimitri. I am the digital video producer and storytelling coach. God, I gotta shorten that title. For Digital Promise Global. Digital Promise and Digital Promise Global, we work to make technology equitable for students across the board. And one of our projects is 360 Filmmakers Challenge through Facebook and Oculus. So we're gonna jump right in. You want to tell them what we're going to do today?
Yeah, so we thought for the next 30 minutes we would tell you how and why we believe youth voices is really important in the world of virtual reality through introducing our organization, and then share some high-level impact of what we've learned in working with youth for the last 18 months, and then hopefully have some fun in the next 30 minutes. How does that sound? Yes.
Fun is good, and if you want the fun to continue, upstairs on the second floor in the marketplace, we have 4 VR headsets that were donated by an organization called WeLens. They have an awesome app that as soon as you put on the headset, it starts playing. It's great for settings like this. You can go up and check out some of the Global Nomads and Digital Promise films, student-produced films. So upstairs, second floor in the marketplace, right where they're doing speed networking. All right, let's get to it.
All right. So at Global Nomads Group, we believe that young people lack meaningful opportunities to engage with difference in a world that is undergoing vast transformation. And we believe in building a generation of global citizens who are empathetic, aware, and inspired to take action in their local and global communities. So to that end, we do this work through primarily what's known as virtual exchanges, where we leverage technology to connect students from different parts of the world to one another through an educational framework. We were introduced to virtual reality a little over 2 years ago through the godmother of virtual reality, Nani de la Peña. And through that, we did a program which I will share with you shortly, where we connected students in LA to her experience, Project Syria, and then connected those same students in LA with now Syrian refugees living in Jordan. But through that experience, we saw the potential and power of virtual reality in helping us to build a generation of global citizens. And this past year, we produced our first VR series called One World, Many Stories, which you're getting a glimpse of here. And we decided it was really important for us to tell the stories of young people through their own narratives, not through crisis or conflict, but through their day-to-day lives. So we traveled around the world, first to Amman, Jordan, where we captured Abdel Rahman's story. And then we went back to our own backyard here in New York, where we followed Brianna. She's from Queens. And we also went to the Appalachians, Eastern Kentucky, where we followed JB and had a day in the life of. And through these experiences, we really gave these young people a voice to take control of the narrative of how they wanted to share out their communities, and allowed the young people watching these experiences to really understand how we all perceive one another in this interconnected world.
So, for Digital Promise Global, our goal is to show that students can create, students can change minds, that they are not just consumers of media, that they can be creators of VR media. So one of our goals is we support and engage with educators around the world as they transform learning institutions to empower students as empathetic, compassionate creators and change makers. I like to call it ECCC. In a way, we're telling students, you can tell us a lot more than we can just preach to you. And so through Facebook and Oculus, they have a challenge called VR for Good. Right? They're trying to show that VR can be used for good things. And so we are a part of that. And with the 360 Filmmakers Challenge, we work with 36 high schools around the country currently. We give them Ricoh Theta cameras. We give them Gear VR headsets and Samsung phones and even selfie sticks with feet. We give them all of that, including a toolkit and technical resources, creative resources, and we tell them, make your own films, right? Tell your own stories. The prompts we give them are 3 very broad prompts. Either share your community, tell us something new, or inspire us to action. And those prompts are broad for a reason. We don't want to prescribe to them, tell us stories about ants, because then that focuses their attention on something that they may not be a part of, right? And so we want them to truly tell us what it's like to be them, to be in their world, to be in their heads, to be in their communities. And sometimes the students, through the teachers, will ask us, well, give us a little more constraint. What really should we be making a film about? And we're like, nope, that's all you. Through the course of one semester, the teachers and then the students learn how to use the equipment. They work with us in a community. We use OBA to communicate not only with the teachers, but so the teachers can communicate with each other. We have professional mentors and are always looking for more professional 360 mentors. So if any of you make 360 films yourself, come talk to me afterward. But those mentors help give feedback to the students throughout the semester. And so they learn how to use the equipment, they experiment with it, they go through pre-production, production, and post, and then they send their films to us to be judged, and we go through the whole process again the next semester. So that's the brief, broad overview of what we do with the program. So we're going to take a moment to do a little activity. All of you in this room have cell phones, right? Can you pull them out for me for a second? Hold them high. Unlock them. Now tell me your unlock code. Kidding.
And just drop it in this bag.
We're going to show you for a moment what it's like to really immerse yourself within 360, because that's what we feel is the best part of it, is that you're immersed in someone else's world. So turn on your phone, turn it to selfie mode.
Don't be shy.
Okay, don't take a selfie yet. Put it on selfie mode and then put it down, eyes up here for a second. I want you to close your eyes. Okay, take a deep breath. Take one more deep breath. I want to smell what you had for breakfast. Really blow it out. Okay, I want you to just for a moment think about a time in your childhood. Think about a time when you had a very strong emotion, a moment, positive or negative, something that you take with you every day that's really important to you, that really defined who you were, just that one moment. Play that moment in your mind. Think about the emotion that you felt in that moment. If you've got it in your head, what I'd like you to do is really hold that emotion, open your eyes, and take a selfie. So whatever that emotion is, let it show on your face. Let it kind of ooze out of you. Take a selfie of yourself. Now, bring up that photo that you just took. Share it with the person next to you. You all should be with someone. Literally hand your phone over to someone else.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. What I want you to do, hang on. What I want you to do is, before you start talking, hang on. Before you start talking, I want the other person that's looking at your phone, I want you to kind of guess what that moment was and try to see if you know what it was. Sorry, some of you already started talking. Take a second and see if the picture matches your guess of what that person experienced. Take about 10 more seconds. Make sure both of you get to share. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring it back. My Lord, you guys are eager to share. Started talking before it was even time to talk. It's always time to talk. That's true. So what was that like? Just sharing that one moment with someone. Just one volunteer who wants to tell me how awkward or weird or crazy it was.
It was pleasant.
It was what?
Pleasant.
It was pleasant. Okay.
What was the emotion?
Curiosity.
Curiosity. Okay.
What was your facial expression?
Mine?
Yeah, in your selfie.
No.
Let me take it. We're gonna project it up here so we can see your face. So
Yeah.
curiosity. Okay. One more person. Yes.
I was left behind with Switzer, wandering into what turned out to be a
Oh.
All right. I gotta see that picture. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. That really.
Trying to stay close.
Yeah. That kind of gets the emotion. All right. So we did this so that you can get a moment of what it's like to share your story with someone else, not only in an image, but to talk about it. Now that's just one photo within a 1 minute exercise. Imagine being able to do that now for a 2 to 3 minute film, and also with that one image surrounding you. That's the whole point of this. With 360, the image is all around you, and what we encourage students to do is to use the entire canvas, right? You got up, you got down, you got left, right, sideways, all the way around. The difference between 360 and traditional film, with traditional film, it's about framing. It's about taking someone's head and saying, here, I want you to see this, I want you to see this, I want you to hear this, I want you to experience this. But with 360, it's not about framing, it's about blocking. It's about dropping someone into a space and say, look wherever you want, here's the experience I'm gonna surround you with, or the space I'm gonna surround you with, and feel what you want about it, and try to figure out what I'm trying to get across to you by being in this space that I want you to be in. So that's 360. You just did your first 360 project for those of you who haven't done one yet. So.
They say that content is king. But when you use education in VR, we believe that context is king. So really giving young people just a framing and understanding of what they're about to enter into the experience, and having them come out of that with some reflection moments. And we curate this through designing a curriculum so that the VR experience is at the apex of the entire learning journey. And one of the high-level impacts that we found, as this lovely woman in the front had also just stated, that VR cultivates curiosity. And we think this is the first step into really wanting to know about others and really understanding our interconnectedness with each other. And so I am going to show just a short clip to show you what happened when we connected students in LA to an experience in Syria, and then virtually connected them to students living in Jordan, Syrian students living in Jordan.
We have students from a local high school who are going through a virtual reality experience. Essentially, the students are being dropped into Aleppo for about 4 or 5 minutes, and where they'll be able to walk around and experience what a day in a life would be like if you were living in Syria.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a pretty immersive experience. I don't necessarily want to see what's going on over there because I feel like it would be such a perspective changer, but then again, that could be a good thing.
Benoni is one of the pioneers in virtual reality. She's really has taken virtual reality into a place where you can go beyond just a game, and so it's like issue-based virtual reality.
Maybe some people's lives can be affected by this technology. But I can tell you, I never dreamed that I was then going to take it to high school students who might be able to make change in the lives of Syrian children refugees.
She's able to give people an immersive experience to allow them to, for a moment, see what life is like in other people's shoes.
It moves me. Virtual reality is important for the future because it puts you in a different place and it makes you see other things and from a different perspective.
They're coming to this conversation much more well-informed. They've been working in their classrooms, they've been working on curriculum, they've had this virtual reality experience. They're going to be able to engage with these students on a really meaningful, important, and intellectual basis that I don't know if that's happened before.
My name is Badriya. We lost access to our schools, and this is because kids or students being kidnapped from schools
Has the media ever portrayed a part of your life or community differently than it actually happened?
The same thing occurs to me in my community and with my people.
The media has a tendency to focus on negative aspects of my community and then make that the standard for everyone that inhabits our community.
Which are minorities such as Black people and Hispanic people.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So tell me, what did you think?
I know a girl had mentioned that because of the war, she lives with fear now. Like her and her little brothers, whenever a plane passes by her house, she hides. And to hear that, to know, we walk the streets every day and don't think anything of it or things like that. We don't think anything of it.
So what you did not see in this video was the curriculum that we had created to bring students into the conversation. And actually, the students in LA were asked to identify some of the challenges that were happening in their own community, because it's not just about us looking at the other and feeling pity, but really building empathy. And so the students in LA discovered that they lived in a food desert. And what did they do? They shared this with the Syrian students. The Syrian students were completely perplexed. What do you mean? Why don't you have food? We grow our own herb gardens. We have our own parsley and mint. And that actually inspired the students in LA to create their own community garden on their campus, inspired by the Syrian students. So again, context is really king when it comes to developing VR experiences for our youth.
So that is the empathy side. If I wanted to convince you that youth are absolutely able to be creators and producers of VR content, I could tell you about some of the stories that are made about there's a youth group in Ohio that did a piece about human trafficking. And they show a girl leaving her house and actually being kidnapped. And for a moment, you're her with the hood being put over your head. And they show you being drugged into the trunk. There's all these stories that students are coming up with from their perspective. But I could also rattle off some facts, like 72% of students reported that the challenge was more interesting than their other school projects, or 100% of educators indicated that students learn new technical and creative production skills through participation in the program. There's a whole bunch of those stats, and we're going to have a huge question and answer session afterward. But instead of stats, I'd rather show you another video that talks about the impact of the program, how they do it, and why they do it. So here we go.
I can do this. I mean, it's just school. I've been to plenty of schools. It's nothing different. This is gonna be a great day. I can do this. No problem at all.
Our story, Breaking Barriers, is essentially about how anxiety can alter your perception of reality.
Tay and I, we were basically the directors of it.
In the film, our protagonist is new to a school. She's there in the classroom, and all of a sudden figures are walking up to her saying negative comments.
You'll never have any friends here.
But in the end, it turns out that it's just her imagination.
I suffer from anxiety. I brought a lot of ideas from how I feel in social circumstances to actually make it feel more realistic.
What are you wearing?
The lines that we made weren't just created. For me personally, I can hear them around school all the time when I walk around through the halls.
We had our fabulous student Liam edit it.
For this video, we had 2 takes. What I did is took the second take with people walking up to the camera. I'm having the second video fade in just this outline area.
We wanted to create the idea that it's all in her head.
I am Erica Lowski. I'm one of the school counselors at Parkville High School, and I'm about to watch this movie with you guys. That was awesome, and like really sad, yet like really motivating. Honestly, I want to go make my other counselors watch it. Some of them are older than me, and so they may not necessarily remember what it's like to be in high school. I think it was an accurate representation of like what I remember high school being. I was like immediately transported back there, you know, and just kind of like get you in that mindset of how would I as a high school student want my counselor to talk to me.
I would definitely do another 360. It kind of put me in a situation that I'm not used to. So it kind of opened me up a bit to the people that I don't usually talk to.
I just felt like, wow, is this really us? Did we really do this? I'm extremely proud of the final product.
So that is, sure, keep going. No, oh wait, I have control over it. That's, there we go. Like something's not happening here. So that is one of 36 schools that we work with. Within the challenge, we choose winners. We make stories about their projects. That is one of 5 stories that is on our website. And then all of the winning films are also on our website and on the Facebook VR for Good Facebook page. So that's that piece of it. Let's move on to
And so
what we learned.
thought we would just share with you 4 high-level takeaways from our work with young people over the last year. And the first one I am reiterating again, VR can cultivate curiosity among our young people. And this is so important in the world in which we live in today, to be curious, to want to know others. An example of this is a classroom in California a classroom in Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, were told that they were going to go through this VR experience and they were going to be dropped into Amman, Jordan. Students had no interest in it, no interest at all, but the teacher made them do it anyways. And when they saw that they were in the Middle East, not necessarily in a desert with black guys rolling through the desert, but in this beautiful city with blue skies, green grass, right in the middle of ancient Roman ruins, they said, wow, this is cool. They jumped onto YouTube immediately after and started to watch videos about Amman, Jordan. So this experience really allowed them to want to know more about the world and specifically the Middle East.
The other thing that we learned is that students are capable of being change makers. Like I said, so with this video, you saw students creating their film and then showing it to their guidance counselor and taking that counselor back to her own high school days. Again, I mentioned the human trafficking video. We're like, all right, you're from a small town in Ohio. Why are you doing a video about a very good and disturbing, but very good video about human trafficking? And they said, well, there's this one street corner in our small town right over there that everyone knows that people disappear from all the time and are sold. It's one of the high traffic human trafficking areas. And so with this video, they're not only bringing attention to it, but we're like, great, take it a step further. Show it to the mayor, show it to city council, show it to the police department, show it to anyone who can actually change that, right? And so with that, and we also have a lot of 360 videos that are happier topics, but it's all about trying to change something. So in this new semester, we've done this for 3 semesters. In this new semester, our focus is when you're in pre-production, when you're in idea development, think about whatever idea you have, where can it go? What ideas can it change? What people need to know about it? Where can you put it? We're not doing just the film festival route. That's, it's great. If you want to put it in a festival, it's fine. But where can it go to have the biggest impact? You, the student, need to do that. We can only do so much. But if you, the student, are in your community, change something in your community with this film.
And the third one is perspective taking. We hear this a lot in the virtual reality. And it's true, and I don't want to undermine the physical act of just putting the headset around your head and being immersed in a new space. So one of our classrooms in California did our One World, Many Stories program right after the election. And G&G is an apolitical organization, but when the students in California received the news of the election results, they were really perplexed. They were having a really difficult time understanding the other. And in doing this VR program, they physically were able to see from another perspective, and then that actually challenged them to think about about the other and how in just our political landscape, why people made different choices than what they would have made. So it was a really powerful teaching tool for the educators.
And then quickly, then we'll get to the last piece on perspective taking. There was another film that we got from a group in New York. It's called Damn Cutie. And all it is you, the viewer, are a person in an elevator. You're obviously a woman because there are 3 guys in that elevator with you, catcalling you this close to you. And the guys did a really good job of being nasty with how they catcalled you, the woman. But it gave me a really chilling feel of what it's like to be a woman and always objectified, right? And so that's perspective. It's putting someone else inside your head. The last piece we found is there's confidence, right? A lot of the students feel a lot more confident, not only making a film, coming with an idea, but using technology, of moving on into multiple different fields. We have 5 girls in California who made a film about immigration. They had never really done a 360 film, done a little bit with filmmaking, but now one's going into filmmaking, one's going into coding. There's a whole bunch of industries that this type of work, because it's new technology, because it presents different challenges, helps them explore all of the possibilities they could do once they move into college. So, and with that, we're going to say, here's our contact info if you want to take pictures of it to communicate with us. And we'd love to take your questions.
Yes.
Oh.
Go ahead.
You first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm curious, what kind of equipment do you use? Like, is it expensive at this point? Like, how, at what level of the tech tree are you headed to?
So we use Ricoh Thetas. We use Samsung Gear headsets and S6 phones at the moment. And usually the ratio is we give 1 set of equipment for every, 3 sets of equipment for every 10 students that a school works with. The schools don't pay to be a part of the program or to be a part of the community. We ask only that they participate in the community throughout the semester, and they submit at least 1 film at the end of the semester. That's it. They also use Adobe Premiere Elements. We have some licenses that we've given, but you can use Adobe Premiere and you can use Final Cut. So whatever they can bring to the table, that's great. If schools already have their equipment, we welcome them to join the community and they get the resources and whatnot. But as far as equipment, giving it out, it's always based on what Facebook can allot every semester.
Do they return equipment at the end of the program?
No, they don't. It belongs to the school. Plus, I don't want to deal with the paperwork of trying to get it back. Right here, and then we'll go to the back, yeah.
How do you become one of these magic schools?
So you email me.
Okay.
You go to our website, and you can check out things. And then if you are interested, I will send you information. Literally, when I get back to San Francisco, I'm starting getting everyone processed for the new semester. So email me that you're interested. We'll have a conversation, and then we'll start the process from there. In the back, and then we'll come to you. Yeah. Nope, yeah, you. Yeah. Yep, yeah. Mm-hmm. Great, so how do we grow the program, and then how do we share?
So that's a great question. I think one of the challenges really is the hardware access that classrooms have to cardboards. Even if we're able to get them cardboards, do they have 5 cell phones that can download our app to experience these VR experiences? And so for Global Nomads Group, over the last 18 months, as we're sort of piloting all of this stuff, we're actually giving away a handful of cardboards to the classrooms to help us make the case for building the ecosystem and infrastructure. One other thing I do want to highlight is classrooms who do have at least 5 cardboards might have trouble finding 5 cell phones to use. So when we design the curriculum, we think about this actual challenge in mind. And when students are experiencing the VR, it's actually through station-based activities. So other activities are happening as students go through this VR immersion.
And also, I want to say in early 2016, I predicted that Black Friday 2017, so our upcoming Black Friday, VR headsets are gonna explode and be the next Black Friday thing. So I'm gonna make that like the thing right now. But also, if schools don't have VR headsets, the great thing about putting on Facebook is that you can either scroll around while you're looking at it or turn it on and literally turn your body on with your phone and be able to look around the space. Not the most immersive, but it's one of the best. It's the best way to do it if you don't have a headset.
Take what we can get.
Exactly, exactly. So we got it. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you being here.